TGIF, you crazy kids, it's Friday, February 12th, 2021. You're watching the Daily Mix TV. Hi, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. A couple of housekeeping notes real quick. First one is I apologize for the audio issues in yesterday's episode. You know, being gone for a year, getting back online, doing all the things that we have to do, you're going to run into a glitch or two. So I apologize for that. Also, some of you are probably wondering, hang on a second, yesterday he was wearing a French cuff shirt and, all those things. Today he's wearing a sweatshirt. It's actually very simple. Petco Foundation, as many of you guys know, my wife Kylie and I co-founded Rock and Rawhide, whose mission is to increase the level of adoptions of dogs and cats in shelters and rescues. We are partners with Petco Foundation on a number of programs. As a matter of fact, they're the biggest sponsor of Adopt-A-Palooza, which is coming back in May in Union Square Park, at least right now it is anyway, based on my conversations with the City of New York and City Hall. But Petco Foundation has been an amazing partner. I have to go run a handful of errands to Petco and some other places for Rock and Rawhide today. That's one of the reasons why I'm wearing this. But it's a good point and a good time to bring up that, with everything that's been going on with COVID, we heard stories all last summer and early fall about how many people were adopting and fostering dogs and cats. We're starting to see some severe return rates. And compounding a problem right now is that, as an example, New York City's Animal Care and Animal Care Center unit, unfortunately, they had to temporarily close down their Manhattan shelter location due to staffing shortages because of COVID-19. So, reason why I'm bringing all of this up, go to petcofoundation.org. Please donate to help. Or if you want to help locally, go to rockandrawhide.org. URL is on your screen, and you can easily donate right there. We deliver, food, linens, comfort items, toys, distraction therapy items directly into the cages at shelters and rescues. And we could sure use your help. Donations were down last year because we had no event programming. And also, frankly, any in-person kind of activation wasn't going to be possible. Thankfully, it looks like that's changing. So, only time will tell. On to the news. A hallmark of business development and marketing is expansion of your brand into new categories or into new targets. For instance, in beauty and personal care, it's not unusual for a trusted brand to expand its offerings to younger or older audiences. Now, one such case is Dove. They're expanding their portfolio of personal care products with a brand new line targeting kids. Kids Care is what it's called, and it consists of products with colors, textures, and fragrances that were designed specifically for children. Featured products in the line include Kids Care Bubble Bath, Foaming Body Wash, Slime Wash, and more. Now, in addition, each product, and this is where it gets interesting, each product carries the brand's Self-Esteem Project, which means that it's going to include positive affirmations for children to say every day, as well as illustrations and access to interactive content from that platform. Self-Esteem Project is very cool, especially when you get into single-parent households and things like that, where you need an extra layer of affirmation and you need that positive reinforcement for your children. So, smart move by Dove. I'm so happy to see this. The Dove Kids Care collection is going to be available at Target and online throughout this month. So, go check that out. The reason why I bring this up when you get into marketing and business development, for a brand like Dove, who's always been so laser focused on women. Remember, they're the ones who did the Be Real campaign, or the Real Women campaign, excuse me. It is Friday, a little tongue tied. When you get into what Dove was able to achieve, showcasing and highlighting women of various shapes and sizes from all different walks of life, which is just a beautiful thing. Watching that and realizing they locked up the female segment very well. They expanded their shave line into men's and their personal care line into men's. Now they're expanding into children. The difference between Dove and most other brands that do this, though, is that they don't spend all of their money all at once hitting everybody. They are very smart about their marketing and their strategy. They go after demo and target after target, one at a time, to ensure that they keep reinforcing that brand messaging, that brand identity across those demographics. So for Dove, very smart move. Can't wait to see what the results are. All right, trends. Trends always last, a lot of trends last about 2 or 3 years. Some go as far as 5. Most trends burn out in less than a year. And a lot of that has to do with social media. I mean, think about this. When you've got something that's trending so fast, like the the Ice Bucket Challenge, that was in and out in about 8 months. Now, granted, it was a very time-specific issue, but even with time-specific issues, historically, trends have gone on for a year or more. In that case, it was a year or less, and it seems like most of those kinds of things have continued to peter out at about the 8 to 12 month mark. So I bring this up because you guys remember that unicorn trend that began about 2 or 3 years ago? Oh, it's still raging. And this time, Smucker's is bringing the magic beast to ice cream. Their latest launch, Unicorn Magic Shell. The ice cream topping features a white cupcake flavor with pink, blue, and purple sprinkles. And when poured over ice cream, the topping freezes in seconds and forms a shell that can easily be broken with a spoon, according to the company. Now, in a press release, this quote, "We're excited to sprinkle some fun for the whole family and their ice cream sundaes with our enchanting unicorn shell ice cream topping that is sure to delight those of all ages. New Smucker's Unicorn Magic Shell topping brings a little magic to birthdays, Friday nights, or any excuse to have ice cream." And that's Allie Brown, who's the director of Smucker's brand strategy. Consumers can find Smucker's Unicorn Magic Shell topping at retail stores nationwide and online. The reason why I love this story, it's 2 trends, okay? Right now, my generation, Gen X, older millennials who are actually Xennials, those who are on the bridge between Gen Y and Gen X, okay? We're in this period of seeking nostalgia. Why? Because in times of uncertainty, in times of discomfort, you look for things that give you positive reinforcement, that remind you of better times. That's where nostalgia plays a big, big role, especially from a marketing perspective. So Smucker's looked at least if I were on the brand team and you were doing new product development and trying to figure out what to do next, knowing that right now, baby boomers, Gen Xers, Xennials are looking for those comfort things, they went out and created something that was incredibly popular when I was a kid, about the mid to late 80s, and it was a magic shell type format. It was everywhere. It was on the end cap of every grocery store in the summer times because it was a cool, new, and innovative thing, right? And as I recall, it was a Smucker's brand that had originally done that back then. So you got one trend in nostalgia, you got another in unicorn. Now, you can't beat 2 trends. That's really smart from a product development standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, certainly from a rollout strategy into grocery, end cap, and retail. Very, very, very smart move for our friends at Smucker. All right. Online streaming is it's getting completely out of hand. Now, there's been a lot of movements over the pandemic. The launch of HBO Max, the launch of Disney Plus. Now you got Paramount Plus coming. But there's some interesting things happening behind the scenes. Let's talk about that for a second. CBS All Access, I've had that app since the day that they launched. And, speaking about nostalgia, I've been watching and catching up on old sitcoms and dramas from the 70s, the 80s, even as far back as the 50s. And I've done that through CBS All Access. I've done it through HBO Max, through Disney Plus, certainly through Netflix and Hulu as well. I bring this up because right now you got some weird things going on the backside here. So CBS All Access had a bundle with Apple TV to include Showtime. It launched last August. It was an Apple TV Plus bundle. It's no more. You pay $9.99 as part of an Apple TV Plus subscription, and you got both CBS and Showtime, right? Right now, as a existing user, I can still access that. New subscribers can't. It's not being offered for new signups. Why? No one has officially announced this yet, but it's likely because ViacomCBS, remember Viacom owns CBS, they own Paramount, a handful of other properties. They've created a new corporate entity called ViacomCBS. They're going to be replacing CBS All Access with an expanded Paramount Plus streaming platform that launches March 4th in the United States. Now, this piece, which I'm about to tell you, has not been confirmed by Apple or ViacomCBS. It doesn't appear that Paramount Plus is going to be offered as an Apple TV channel inside the TV app, much like what I was talking about before with CBS All Access and Showtime, that bundle that was only available inside the TV app. Now, what they're instead going to do, like HBO Max did, is force users to use a completely standalone app on Apple TV, on your iPad, on your iPhone, and so on. Streaming through their own apps rather than third-party apps does give service owners control over customer data and analytics. Now, as an example, Warner Media last May, they launched HBO Max. They removed HBO Access through those Apple TV channels through the TV app, instead directing users to use the HBO Max app. That's what's going to happen with Paramount Plus. Now, I don't necessarily know that that's such a good idea, considering it's yet another subscription, another monthly cost, all of those things. People are starting to wise up to that, and they're starting to look at their spend patterns. You can see some subscription levels are starting to come down. So you can see that pattern starting to form, that trend where people are turning off those subscriptions because they're tired of getting charged every month. Now, to further illustrate what I mean, according to the folks over at Mac Rumors, as of March next month, second and third generation Apple TV owners will no longer have access to CBS All Access. They're going to have to watch the new Paramount Plus app on either an Apple TV 4K, Apple TV HD, their iPhone, iPad, or they can use AirPlay to stream Paramount Plus from any third gen or later Apple TV. Owning your own content's destiny is paramount, pun intended, to the health and well-being of any streaming business. So I don't know if ViacomCBS really understands the ramification of their actions. Remember when CBS All Access launched, it was met with such fanfare. So it's going to be interesting to see how Paramount Plus performs. We'll keep an eye on it and circle back. All right. We've all been to a Panda Express. Okay, admit it. You know you have. It's interesting. A lot of folks slam them as imitation, mall-based, all of those kinds of things. They're launching a new campaign that's focusing on heritage as a Chinese-American brand to celebrate the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. Hopefully, that's going to help continue the brand's journey to become more premium. And I'll get into that in a second. Launching the new campaign is a 3-minute film you can see on your screen. It starts with an Asian family inviting a neighborhood kid to join their Lunar New Year celebration, and it includes enjoying mandarins, authentic Chinese dishes and decorations, as well as gifting lucky red envelopes. Now, mandarins are part of the celebration as they represent prosperity, and most Chinese traditions related to Lunar New Year involve money or gold as symbols of luck. Hence, the lucky red envelope. It's then revealed that the celebration is in fact a flashback from that neighborhood kid's childhood, especially since this year's party has been canceled due to COVID-19. However, the boy, now an adult, seeks to keep the tradition of sharing good fortune by giving his childhood neighbors a box of Panda Express spring rolls. Then the spot ends with that neighborhood boy as an adult celebrating the Chinese holiday with his own family. It's called Traditions Shared as a spot. It's airing across Hulu and all of Panda's social channels through the end of this month. Now, in addition to this, because whenever you do promo of this kind, you absolutely cannot do a single execution. It can't be one siloed channel. It has to be integrated throughout your marketing. So in this case, what Panda Express is doing is launching a digital red envelope experience to invite guests to customize and send these cards to friends and family. So recipients will receive a $2 off on entree and a free drink, while the sender gets, can you guess? That's right, a free order of spring rolls. Now, Panda Express is also, and here's where it gets interesting, teaming up with Joy Cho, who's the founder and creative director of Oh Joy. They've created limited edition celebration kits that you can see on your screen. These $50 packages include aprons, a mini stuffed panda, recipes, activities, and more. Look, it's a very sweet spot, but I really feel like it just may be too early for a brand like this that hasn't finished its job of upscaling its image. So what do I mean? Panda Express spent an enormous amount of money a couple of years ago expanding their standalone store format into major urban metros to get out of that sort of Chinese food mentality as a mall brand. However, they're still not considered to be a premium brand and still are the butt of jokes all around plastic Chinese food, and you go to the mall to enjoy it, all those kinds of things. Look, folks, there's an outpost of Panda Express on 9th Avenue and 46th Street in Hell's Kitchen. I've stopped there a couple times on my way down to meetings in Hudson Yards and Lower Hell's Kitchen, those kinds of things. Yeah, the food's good. I mean, it's not blow away. It's Panda Express. It's good. It's reliable. It's solid. But I wouldn't call it premium, and neither would a lot of other folks. They're on their way, and they're doing a good job at getting there. They just haven't arrived yet. That's the problem for Panda Express. Hopefully, this spot and other activities they're doing really helps them in their quest to become that premium brand. But that may take a little longer than originally projected, given the pandemic and everything else that's in the hospitality sector's way. All right, in closing, and a little bit of a Flashback Friday nod to Cheeseburger in Paradise singer Jimmy Buffett, congratulations to my dear friend and fellow shopaholic, Lisa Gubov-Langley, on her new position as Director of Marketing and Guest Relations at Margaritaville Beach Hotel in Jacksonville Beach. It's their newest location. Lisa and her husband, Froggy, who's a co-host on Elvis Duran in the Morning Show, they just moved into the area. I am so proud of you, Lisa. Congratulations. You go, girl. All right, folks, that's it for me today. I'm not sure if we're going to do an episode on Monday, as it is President's Day and a federal holiday. It's simply going to depend on developments over the weekend as we head into planning and finalization for the second quarter of the year at the end of next month, and brands begin revealing their plans. So I'll keep you posted. In the meantime, have a great Valentine's Day weekend. I hope you've got something special planned for your loved one. All right, guys, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or story ideas, please email thedailymixtv@gmail.com. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you on Monday or Tuesday, depending on what happens.